All right, let's talk about something that is on every single marketer's mind right now. How in the world do we navigate this new reality of AI-powered search? Well, today, we're going to break it all down using a fantastic, super comprehensive guide from Microsoft as our source. If you create any kind of content online, you are definitely going to want to stick around for this.
You know, this quote from Microsoft's Paul Longo just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It feels like we're all caught in this whirlwind of change. It's a little scary, sure, but it's also packed with opportunity. The old playbooks, they're just not cutting it anymore. And that's exactly why we're here, to give you that clear, actionable direction we're all craving.
And if you're wondering just how big of a deal this is, look at this number, $750 billion. That's not a typo. That's what McKinsey projects the revenue impact of AI search could be by 2028. So yeah, this isn't some small tweak. This is a massive, fundamental shift in how the digital economy works. The time to get ahead of this was yesterday. The next best time is right now.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll get a handle on this new reality. Then we're going to pop the hood and see how these AI search engines actually work. After that, we'll get into strategy, the big shift from SEO to something new called GEO. Then we'll get super practical with how to create AI-friendly content, and we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you can act on immediately.
So let's start with the new reality. For decades, what has search been? It's been a game of keywords and a list of blue links. But that whole world is changing. We're moving away from that rigid system to something way more fluid, way more conversational. You can literally ask a complex question and get one single, synthesized answer. That's not the future. That's happening as we speak.
So, how does this conversational magic actually happen? If we're going to master this new game, we have to understand the new rules. And that means we need to get a little bit nerdy and understand the tech that's powering this entire revolution. At the heart of it all, you have these things called large language models, or LLMs. Now, the best way to think about them is as super sophisticated parrots. They've consumed a mind-boggling amount of text from the internet, so they're brilliant at recognizing patterns and mimicking human language. But, and this is the most important part, they don't understand a thing. They're just pattern matchers, not fact-checkers. There's this classic thought experiment called the Chinese room that just explains this perfectly. Imagine you're in a room. You don't speak a word of Chinese, but you have a massive rule book. Someone slides a question written in Chinese under the door. You use your rule book to find the right symbols, write them down, and slide a perfectly correct answer back. To the person outside, you're a genius who's fluent in Chinese, but you're not. You're just following instructions. That's exactly how an LLM works. So, as consultant Brittany Muller says, these things are not truth engines. They are probability engines. So what stops them from just making stuff up? Well, there's a clever process called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Think of it like a leash. It allows the AI to go beyond its original training data and search the live web for fresh, external information to anchor its answers in something real.
Let's break down how that works. It's basically a 5-step dance. Step 1, you ask a question. Step 2, the AI checks its own memory bank. If the answer's not there or it's old, it moves to step 3, retrieve. It goes out and searches the web for current info. Then step 4, the important one, anchor. It links that info to actual verifiable sources. And finally, step 5, respond. It weaves everything together into that nice conversational answer you see. Okay, so we get the tech now. It's a pattern matcher with a leash to the real world. So what on earth does that mean for our strategy? Well, this is where we see a huge evolution, from the SEO we all know and love to a whole new discipline, GEO. This chart just lays it out so perfectly. The old way, search engine optimization, was all about keywords. The goal was to rank number 1. The currency was backlinks. The new way, generative engine optimization, is completely different. The focus is on context. The goal isn't to rank, it's to be cited in the AI's answer. And the currency that gets you there? Crystal clarity. And as SEO expert Lily Ray makes really clear here, this doesn't mean you just throw out everything you know about SEO. Of course not. Those fundamentals are still absolutely vital. The AI still has to be able to find and crawl your site. But just sticking with your old SEO playbook would be a huge mistake, because the very nature of search has changed. Okay, which brings us to the really practical part. Enough theory. How do we actually create content that these new generative AIs are going to understand, trust, and most importantly, want to cite? Let's get into the nuts and bolts. So here are the big do's. First, write for real human intent, not just a list of keywords.
Get super specific. Don't just say a dishwasher is quiet. Say it's a 42 decibel dishwasher perfect for open concept kitchens. The AI loves precise data. Use clean formatting like lists and bullet points. Make it easy for the machine to read. And sprinkle in synonyms to give the AI more context clues about your topic.
And just as important, here's what not to do. Avoid giant walls of text. If you have key info hidden behind Click to Expand tabs, get rid of it. If your best data is locked away in a PDF, or worse, it's just an image of text, that's a huge problem. You've got to make your content as simple and machine-readable as possible.
Now, if you want to really level up your strategy, you need to start thinking about what experts like Michael King call synthetic queries. So what are those? They're the follow-up questions the AI itself generates to dig deeper. So if a user asks for best running shoes, the AI might create synthetic queries like, what are the best running shoes for people with flat feet? The new game isn't just about answering the first question, it's about anticipating the entire conversation.
Whew! We have covered a ton of ground, from how LLMs work all the way to this new strategy called GEO. So let's bring it all home and boil it down to the 3 most important things you need to remember.
When you walk away from this, when you sit down at your desk tomorrow morning, what's the actual game plan? What are the core principles that should guide you through this completely new landscape? Here it is, your 3-step action plan. Number 1, embrace GEO. Don't abandon your SEO skills, build on them, but shift your focus from chasing keywords to owning conversational context. Number 2, structure is strategy. AI trusts clarity above all else. Use clean formatting, structured data, and precise language to become that go-to, citable source. And number 3, and this one's my favorite, humanity is your differentiator. As AI gets better at answering the what, your why, and how, your unique expertise and human perspective become your ultimate secret weapon.
So, let's leave it with this final thought. AI is, for all intents and purposes, the new front door to the internet. It's becoming the main way people find information. And the only question you need to ask yourself is this: is your content the key that's going to unlock that door?